Hello everyone, I'm Twinkle Sharma helping you crack Microsoft certifications. Today we will learn about the concept cloud computing and also the shared responsibility model modules including the models, identify appropriate use case for each cloud model or the consumptions and more. Okay, let we start. What is cloud computing? Cloud computing means using internet based services to store, manage, and process data instead of using your own computer or local server. So, if you are using your own system, it is just like a saving files in your systems, running program on your own machine, or buying physical servers. It is too costly, right? So, in the cloud service, you can use the databases or compute services or the systems on online, or we can say on internet. So, as you pay, you will use. Just see this image. You are saving your file in your system, and this is the data centers of the server databases, right? Then in the cloud, what are this for the storing data? For storing files, we have OneDrive, Google Drive, Dropbox. Everyone use the OneDrive, right? And almost the Google Drive, every person who are using the Gmail and other using this. And run apps in the cloud is like Office 365, Microsoft 365 Office you are using, just like Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, etc. Which and also you are using the Zoom app or Google Meet app. This is the run apps which are online or we can say on internet. It is an example of cloud computing. Host websites or databases on cloud platform like Azure, AWS or Google Cloud. These are the host website or databases of cloud services. Then we have the question, why cloud computing? It is a scalable. Add more resources when you need them. Reduce resources when you not need them. Cost effective. Pay only what you use. You have to only pay the amount for the product which you are using. Reliable, high availability and disaster recovery. It has the high availability, no low time. Accessible, use it from anywhere with the internet. In any device you can use it. Cloud deployment models. What are the cloud deployment models? Public, private, and hybrid cloud. So, the public cloud, what is hosted by third party providers like Microsoft Azure, AWS, or Google Cloud. Public cloud is has a infrastructure shared among multiple user, multi-tenant. Example, Azure virtual machines, Google Drive or Microsoft 365. And your service model will determine responsibility for things like operating systems, network controls, application, identity, and infrastructures. Okay. Then we have the public cloud pros and cons. Pros: low cost, easy to scale, no hardware to manage. Cause: less control, shared resources. What are the private clouds? Private cloud, your organization on premises or via private cloud provider. Infrastructure is dedicated only to you. Right? We can also say that private clouds provides much greater control for the company and its department. May be hosted from your on-site data center. It may also be hosted in a dedicated data center off-site, potentially even by a third party that has dedicated that data center to your company. Whereas in the public cloud is built, controlled and maintained by the third party cloud provider. With the public cloud, anyone that wants to purchase cloud services can access and use resources in the public cloud. Whereas in private cloud, you are responsible for dedicated only to you. And what are the pros and cons of a private cloud? Pros and cons are high security and privacy, full control over the environment And cons are more expensive, require in-house expertise, require more people to control this thing or handle the things. Then we have the hybrid cloud, which is the combines of public plus private cloud, right? Allows data and applications to move between them as needed. Hybrid cloud environment can be used to allow a private cloud to search for increased temporary demand by deploying public cloud resources. Hybrid cloud can be used to provide extra layer of security. Okay, then we have the pros and cons of hybrid cloud. Pros are the flexibility, keep sensitive data private, use public cloud for less critical workloads, cost optimization. Consequences are complex to manage, integration challenges. These are the public, private, and hybrid cloud differences. No capital expenditure to scale up in the public cloud. Then we have the applications can be quickly provisionized and deprovisionized. Then we have organizations pay only for what they use. Organizations don't have complete control over resources and security. And in the private cloud, responsibilities for hardware maintenance and update, the organization is responsible. Hardware must be purchased for the startup and maintenance. Data is not collocated with other organizations data. And the private cloud also, organizations have complete control over resources and security. Then we have the hybrid cloud, provides the most flexibility. Organizations determine where to run their applications. Organizations control security, compliance, or legal requirements. Then we have a multi cloud. A fourth and increasingly likely scenario is a multi cloud scenario. In a multi cloud scenario, you use multiple public cloud providers. So, maybe you use different features from different cloud providers, or maybe you started your cloud journey with me provider and are in the process of migrating to a different provider regardless. In a multi-cloud environment, you deal with two or more public cloud providers and manage resources and security in both environments. Then we have Azure Arc. Azure Arc is a set of technologies that helps manage your cloud environment. Azure Arc can help manage your cloud environment, whether it's public cloud solely on Azure, a private cloud in your data center, a hybrid configuration, or even a multi-cloud environment running on a multiple cloud provider at once. Cloud computing falls under things Azure VMware solutions. What if you are already established with the VMware in a private cloud environment but want to migrate to a public or hybrid cloud? Azure VMware solution lets you run your VMware workloads in Azure with seamless integration and scalability. Then we have the consumption based model, which is CapEx and OpEx. The cloud computing falls under OpEx because cloud computing operates on a consumption on based model. With cloud computing, you don't pay for the physical infrastructure, the electricity, the security, or anything else associated with any maintaining data center. The capex is typically a one time upfront expenditure to purchase or secure tangible resources. A new building, repaving the parking lot, building a data center, or buying a company vehicle are example of capex. In contrast, opex is spending money on a services or products over time. Renting a convention center, leasing a company vehicle, or signing up for cloud services are all example of opex. So, this consumption based model has many benefits, including no upfront costs, no need to purchase and manage costly infrastructure that users might not use to its fullest potential, the ability to pay for more resources when they are needed, the ability to stop paying for resources that are no longer needed. Then we have compare cloud pricing models. Cloud computing is the delivery of computing services over the internet by using as a pay as you go pricing model. You typically pay only for the cloud services you use. You only pay for the database, or you are using any storage, any computing service, anything. So you have to pay for only for that service. Just like you are taking the hosting, you have to pay for the hosting, not for the domain and things. If you are using the business mails, just like a domain mail, we can say, so you have to pay for only that things, not for the other things. Plan and manage your operating costs. Run your infrastructure more efficiently. Scale as your business needs change. The benefit of high availability and scalability in the cloud. High availability: when you are architecting your solution, you will need to account for service availability guarantees. Azure is a highly available cloud environment with uptime guarantees depending on the service. These guarantees are part of the service level agreements, which is SLAs. Then we have scalability, refers to the ability to adjust resources to meet demand. If you suddenly experience peak traffic and your systems are overwhelmed, the ability to scale means you can add more resources to better handle the increased demand. Then we have vertical scaling. With vertical scaling, if you are developing an app and you need more processing power, you could vertically scale up to add more CPUs or RAM to the virtual machine. Or if you require anything else, you can do the vertical scaling. Then we have the horizontal scaling. If you suddenly experienced a steep jump in demand, your deployed resources could be scaled out either automatically or manually. Then we have the benefits of reliability and predictability in the cloud. Reliability is the ability of a system to recover from failures and continue to function. It's also one of the pillars of the Microsoft Azure well architected framework. Predictability in the cloud lets you move forward with the confidence. Predictability can be focused on performance predictability or cost predictability. Both performance and cost predictability are heavily influenced by the Microsoft Azure well architected framework. Okay, then we have the performance. Performance predictability focuses on predicting the resources needed to deliver a positive experience for your customers. Outscaling, load balancing, and high availability are just some of the cloud concepts that support performance predictability. Then we have the cost. Cost predictability is focused on predicting or forecasting the cost of the cloud spend. With the cloud, you can track your resource use in real time, monitor resources to ensure that you are using them in the most efficient way, and apply data analytics to find pattern and trends that helps better to plan the resource deployment. Also, that will reduce the amount of your cost, reduce the amount of your product you are using, and reduce the cost of that product or services you are taking. The benefits of security and governance in the cloud. The benefits of manageability in the cloud. Automatically scale resource deployment based on need. Deploy resources based on pre-configured template, removing the need for manual configuration. Monitor the health of resources and automatically replace failing resources. Receive automatic alerts based on configured metrics so you are aware of performance in real time. Management in the cloud also refers to how well you can manage cloud resources and environments. These are manageable through a web portal, using a command line interface, or using APIs using PowerShell. Then we have the types of cloud services, which are IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS. IaaS is a infrastructure as a services. You rent a virtual server storage networks, for example Azure virtual machines. Then in the past you have platform as a services, you get tools to build and run apps without managing service. So in the hours you have the infrastructure that you had taken the data centers online from the Azure, AWS or a Google Cloud, but in the past you are taking a platform just like a Azure App Services or Microsoft 365 and other platform. Then we have platforms like Azure App Services and other platform, but in the software you are using Microsoft 365 Gmails, which are fully managed by apps via browsers. And then we have the comparison between this. The AS is a host. In infrastructure as a services, it has the applications, middleware, OS and servers, whereas the PaaS is a build and SaaS is a software as a service is consumed. So you have to only use. You don't have to make any changes in the software or do anything. You only have to use, just like you are using the Microsoft Word, you are using the Microsoft Excel and the PowerPoint. But if you are taking the infrastructure as a services, so almost control you have on your infrastructures. And if you are taking the platform, so some of the services are on the your hand and some of them the provider hand. Then let me show you on premises. On on premises means off site. It is the person, a person who has all the access in this. What application, data, runtime, middleware, operating system, virtualization, server, storage, and the security. And if it has any changes or it has any loss, all the things will be on your basis on premises. The company and the organization has to tolerate that all the things the person needed for that to handle the servers or runtime or data centers. We have to provide the electricity, all the bills are for the organizations. Then we have the infrastructure as a service. Some of the things are managed by you and some of the provider. So the provider will manage the things in the infrastructure as a services is the virtualization, server, storage, networking. And where what is managed by you is the applications, data, runtime, middleware or operating system. But in the platform as a service, you have to manage just the applications and data. Other things will be managed by the service provider. But other things, runtime, middleware, operating system, virtualization, servers, storage, networking. Then we have the software as a service. Just no need to do anything. You have to just use that. If you need, only the provider will do anything. The application, data, runtime, middleware, operating system, also the security things will be done on the provider side. No thing you have to do on the software. You have just to do your things on that software and use it. Just like Google Drive, you have to use it. The Microsoft Offices, PowerPoint, Outlook, and other things. Hope you will understand all the concepts. If you have any query, you can let me know in the comments. Thank you for today. Bye bye.